One time I got heckled by a deaf guy. It was at a Bringer show, my second year, which is a show where in order to get on stage, comics have to bring audience members. It's really classy. And this particular night, there was a deaf comic on the show, and he brought the entire audience, also deaf. So the whole show, there's an interpreter on stage just interpreting everyone's jokes into sign language. About halfway through the show, Big J Okerson gets on stage. And he's like the master of impromptu comedy and making things up in the moment. And he just riffs everything you can possibly riff about a deaf comic, a deaf audience. He makes the interpreter say cunt in sign language. Like, how do you follow that? I'll tell you how you follow that. Be a deaf comic. Because he got on stage next, hands the mic to some guy in the front row, stands in the spotlight, signs something. Guy in the front row says into the mic, "So I'm deaf." Standing ovation. Hasn't even told a joke yet. Motherfucker's getting a standing ovation. Does his set, crushes, gets another standing ovation at the end of his set. Double standing ovation. Then I had to go on stage. At that point, nobody was paying attention. They were all just having conversations amongst themselves, you know, just causing a silent ruckus. The interpreter just stopped interpreting my jokes. She's like, "I'm not going down with this ship. This is your failure and you're going to eat it alone." I was like, "Oh no." And like halfway through my set, the club just drops checks. So now I've got a bunch of drunk, deaf people arguing over drink prices. And then I got heckled by a deaf guy. And if you want to know how that goes... I gotta say though, whoever decided this means fuck you in sign language, nailed it. Oh my god. It feels so right. That's not even the worst I've ever bombed, guys. The worst I've ever bombed was here. Thank you. Someone's proud of that. At a show called Fight Mike. And the concept of Fight Mike is comics do their sets and then just punch each other in the face. And to be fair, on paper, that is a terrible idea. Which as comics means we have to try it at least several times. I was on the third Fight Mic ever. On the first two, they gave the comics oversized boxing gloves. But on my edition, they decided just to give them off-brand sock 'em boppers. And like, sock 'em boppers are not padding. Like, all sock 'em boppers do is make you a more efficient punching machine. Like, there's just more surface area. Also, they have seams that cut you. They're the most dangerous toy ever created. And these weren't even name brand sock 'em boppers. These are like punch 'em poppers or some shit. The comic I had to fight that night was a comic named Evan Davis, who, first of all, very nice guy. Second, like 2 weight classes smaller than me. Third, he's bisexual, which has nothing to do with his fighting ability. It just would have made me feel worse if I kicked his ass. You know, like, that's just like a personal thing of mine. I don't know. Everybody is getting nothing on their sets. Complete silence. But this place is packed, like standing room only, but no one wanted jokes. They were just there for blood. We had no time for silliness that night. I get up, I'm bombing. Halfway through my set, I just stop. I'm like, do you guys just want to see a fight? Biggest response I've ever gotten on stage. Like, bigger than they clapped for the fucking deaf guy. It was amazing. So we put the sock and boppers on, and Evan Davis goes nuts. Immediately swinging haymakers. I'm just keeping distance with straight jabs. Like 4 punches in, my sock and bopper pops, and now I'm just bare knuckle punching him in the face. So I forfeited immediately, so I don't accidentally commit a hate crime or something. You know, I don't know how to look in court. I don't want to take it that far. And I got off stage and I was like, man, that show shouldn't exist. I need to do something to stop this show. And I realized I missed my one opportunity to stop that show forever. Like, if I really wanted to stop that show, I should have just knocked that dude out cold. And been like, is this what you wanted? Start hitting the front row with the mic stand. I am not an animal. I think the worst part of that story is after I got off stage, this comic I like really respected came up to me and he's like, hey man, I saw you up there tonight and I just want to say I'm very disappointed. I was like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, I had money on you winning and you totally gave up. I was like, what kind of Jean-Claude Van Damme shit am I involved in right now?